Hey everybody, welcome to Vet School in a Nutshell. For those of you watching, it may look a little bit different. For those of you listening, it may sound a little bit different. But Lauren, why are we different today?
So, I tried to, not I, we tried to not make this podcast about, the big elephant in the room. You know her, we all know her, the infamous Miss Rona. And I have unfortunately been, or I was, hashtag exposed to the cocoa, and I wasn't able to do my in-person OSCE. So that's like our final thing where we do hands-on stuff like suture patterns and all that other kind of stuff. And I wasn't able to do that because I was hashtag exposed. And so the administration reached out to me and they were like, hey, you got exposed. So don't come back. And I was like, okay. And packed up literally all my stuff. Looked like I was moving out in the middle of the night. Like I was asked to escort off the premises or something, and packed up Rob. And I was really worried about him because he gets a little in the car, a little spastic. But took him to the dog park first. And then 4.5 hours later, we arrived back in the amazing state of Georgia. And I have been here ever since. Taylor's not happy about it. He wanted me to come back. And
It's been lonely.
I do what I want. So
Um,
no, I was gonna come back, but because my parents' Wi-Fi is horrible. Because you probably can't even hear me right now because my parents' Wi-Fi is
it's actually the
so
video
terrible.
is pretty clear right now. So
Wow. Okay. Well, don't jinx it.
let's
I
hopefully it
had to
stays
turn
that
off
way.
every single device, like my phone, my iPad, the TV, my dad's iPad,
Dad,
the cats. Like I had to turn everything off of
turn the
Wi-Fi.
gas. Um,
And so that's like the only reason that we're even able to do this right now. And I'm sure we'll probably poop the bed any minute now. But
Naturally,
anyway, so I am coming to you live from an undisclosed location.
Georgia.
And I'm repping my varsity cup for all those Georgia people out there. The
Cute.
varsity 90th anniversary. Taylor has no idea what he's talking about. He's missing out. We're not sponsored, but we should be. Bring me a chili cheese dog. We
Oh,
love the varsity.
wait. I'll have to do the ASMR version of our podcast today.
Oh my gosh, I'm
You
so
ready?
jealous.
ASMR.
Can I
Here,
do something? I have some highlighters over here. I can
wait,
like
wait,
pop
wait.
them.
Hold on. How does this sound? Ready? Ready?
Ooh, okay.
Wait, wait, wait,
Wait, I
wait.
have to do
Wait, hold
something.
on, hold
I
on,
have
hold
to
on.
do something. I don't think I'm into that one, but okay, here's mine. Here's mine. You think if I open my AirPods case, it'll mess everything up?
Don't, don't.
Okay, just okay. I'm gonna do it anyways. Ooh, ooh. So, since I'm coming from an undisclosed location, Taylor,
It's
how have you
Georgia.
been living? Taylor, how have you been living without me? Don't tell the people where I'm at. All three fans. Somebody's crazy. Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
come get me
Let's go,
and steal Rob.
go search the entirety of Georgia. Hint: it is in the central part of Georgia. Oh, oh man, oh man. Anyway,
I'm gonna do something really quick. Is it Central? That was for one person and one person only, and she's gonna murder me, but I had to do
okay.
it.
Anyway, how have I been getting on without you? Oh man,
Yeah.
it's been so incredibly easy. Um,
Have you moved into my apartment? Be honest.
I haven't set foot in your apartment since you were like, "Hey, I left in such a hurry. I need you to turn down my heat," because I was like, "You got the call saying don't come to class." You said, "Say no more. I'm already out the door."
I was
Um,
out.
that was the last time I set foot in your apartment, and that was like 2 weeks ago. Um,
Hmm.
I've just been chilling in my apartment playing video games. I mean, studying. Definitely haven't been playing video games. What are you talking about?
Yeah, definitely not.
But it's been
Well, I'm
fun.
glad to hear that you're still living. Wish you
I'm
missed me a little more, but
I'm
whatever.
I'm actually thriving.
Oh, okay, I guess I won't come back then.
That's fine.
Shut up. Okay.
All right. So, yes, we have taken feedback. We've gotten feedback and we have taken it. And the podcast will be a little bit shorter.
We're
Um,
sorry. We love to
we
hear ourselves talk. We thought you did too, but
yeah, we
last week was too much with the mics. Oh God, it was bad.
it is very evident that we both have severe and crippling attention deficit disorders.
Yours worse than mine, obviously.
Yeah, definitely me. And so we've decided that every 2 weeks we will do a video podcast like this. It'll be about 30 to 45 minutes long max. And then in the off weeks, we're gonna do a shorter, like 15 to 20-minute podcast, and it's gonna be audio only. That way we can still have weekly podcasts, but the longer podcasts are every 2 weeks instead of every week. So should be better.
Also, with that being said, feel free to hit us up on Instagram or email if you're not in the 21st century, and you can tell us what you would like us to talk about.
Yep.
Because I mean, we will talk about anything, but we would love to talk about stuff that our loyal fans out there want to hear about.
Yeah. And we say that every podcast. So we'll get
It's
some
all about you,
feedback.
baby.
We'll get some
It's all
feedback,
about you. You listen to us right now.
but
It's about you.
it's about you. So since we've had a little bit of banter back and forth and to get on with the podcast, let's talk about the meat of this one and get into the topic of the day, which is a continuation of last week's podcast that was before Thanksgiving, but that's how we are.
Part two, baby.
Part two of how did we get here? Last week we talked about me and my success, and this week we're going to talk about Lauren and how she got here. So Lauren, start us off with your GRE story, because you said that one was a bit of a doozy.
So, first of all, happy to be here. And I just want everyone to go ahead and buckle in because this is going to be a wild and crazy one. Because, as with everything, nothing in my life can just be smooth sailing. We got to be wild and crazy. So, it all started my vet school application journey. Well, I mean, I wanted to be a vet since I was 4, just throwing that out there. But the whole like, all right, it's getting time. It was like junior year of college. It's getting time. I got to get ready to like really actually put myself out there and apply. So first thing I had to do was take the GRE. So I did not know anything about the GRE. None of my friends were going to grad school. I just knew I had to take it to get into vet school. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just sign up for it and go.
Like, this is like the ACT or SAT. It's like,
yeah, that's all I
not
heard.
a big deal. It's like $300, not a big deal.
Yeah. And so my mom was like, just sign up for it, just take it and figure it out. And then maybe your score will be good enough. If not, whatever, like you're fine. So I took it in Atlanta. So I spent the night at my friend's house. And so the next morning I did like a dry run the night before. And thank God I did, because the address that was on the website was not even close to where the actual place was. And then the thing about Atlanta is that there's just like a lot of like commercial buildings. So there's multiple businesses inside buildings. And so you can get to the address, which was incorrect, by the way. So I eventually did find it. But you can get to the address. But once you get inside the building, that's a whole nother part. And so I couldn't get into the building the night before, but I did figure out where the building was, whatever. So I get there and I thought I was rolling up to like the SAT. So I have my backpack, I have my calculator, I have like 4,200 freshly sharpened pencils from that morning. I got my breakfast. I was like half eating it, kind of nervous, about to throw up, whatever. If a pencil gets dull, like I'm out. Might as well throw it away. So I have to have all my sharpened pencils, blah, blah, blah. I got my fancy like Inspire calculator. Also brought a backup TI-84 just in case I couldn't bring the Inspire, because like apparently it tells people answers, but I don't know how to work it that well, so I didn't know how to do that. But I get in there and so I finally find it and I get in there and this guy's like, what? I'm like, okay, hey, like I'm here to take the GRE. And he was like, okay, what is all this? I was like, oh, like I have my backpack and like scratch paper just in case I don't have any, like all my pencils and my calculator and all that other kind of stuff, so that like we can take it. What do you need from me? Where do you need me? Whatever. And he was like, you can't have any of that here. So I don't really know what you're smoking, but you cannot have any of that here. So like you can come back when all that stuff's gone. And I was like, okay, well, how am I gonna take this test if I don't have a pencil or my calculator? And he was like, are you crazy? And I was like, and he was like, put all that stuff back and then come back to me. And I said, okay. So then I come back he's like, I don't want you coming back in here. Cause I was like, I don't understand. How am I supposed to take this test? Cause when I took the SAT, like I need my calculator and pens and pencils and everything. And he was like, you're an idiot. Don't come back in here until you have your license and your car keys. And that's all I want you to come back in here with. You understand me, girl? Like if you come back here in here with anything else, I'm calling security. I was like, okay. So I, against my will, throw everything back in my car, come back with nothing but my car keys and my license. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm ready to take the test. I don't know. And he was like, okay. So then takes the stuff. I go back to this room and I'm like in this office building and there's a bunch of cubicles set up and it's a computer. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, this is how you're taking it.
Yeah.
What? I'm like, okay, sorry. So then I take it, wrote an amazing essay about the Kardashians.
And nobody who looks at those even cares about him in vet school. They're
right.
Like, throw that away.
Right.
Thanks for wasting 2 hours writing it.
Just kind of was like clicking around, like, okay, maybe I don't really know any of this stuff. Cause I was like, this is like, I kind of know it, but I don't. But you know, not too stressful, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like going through it, whatever. And then when I get done, this little box comes up and there's some numbers on the screen. And I'm like, okay, am I supposed to write this down or what? So I have like what's left of my scratch paper, where I was, making up math all over the dang thing because math is not my strong suit. And I write down my score. I had no idea it was my score. I just like wrote down these numbers that were there and I go back and there's this lady out there and I was like, hey. And so she has to like inspect my stuff and everything to make sure, I guess I didn't like write down questions or whatever before I can leave. And I said, so when am I going to get my score? Like about how long does it take for us to like get our score? And she was like, what? And I said, about how long does it take for us to get our score? And she was like, what are you talking about? And I said, okay, so I just like a test in there. I don't know what you thought I was doing, but I am assuming someone somewhere will grade it and then tell me what my score was so that I can tell my vet schools that I'm applying to because I have to make some sort of requirements or whatever. And she was like, girl, you already got your score. I'm like, I did? She's like, yeah, they grade it immediately. The only thing that's coming to you is your paper. And I said, okay, well, what's my score? She's like, is that my responsibility? And I was like, no. Is it mine? She's like, absolutely. I didn't take the test. I'm like, okay, so how do I know what my score is? Do they tell you? And she was like, girl, I'm about to knock some sense into you. I don't know anything about it. You need to know your own score. I'm like,
okay.
So like, can you tell me what it is? Like, I don't know. And so she's like, didn't you get some numbers at the end of your screen whenever you got done? I was like, yeah. She said, that's your score. What do you want from me? I was so upset. I said, okay, I wrote it down on my scratch paper and you took that from me. So can I have it back? And she rolled her eyes so hard, I thought I was going to get smacked in the face with one of her eyeballs. I was like, I'm so sorry that I have inconvenienced you so much today, ma'am. And she was like, I'm not supposed to do this, but I need you to go ahead and get on out of here because you're working on my nerves. I was like, okay, yes, ma'am, I understand. And so she like got a sticky note out and wrote my score down. And then she was like, good luck. I said, with what? And she was like, obviously you need it with whatever you're taking this test for. And I was like, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Like, have a great day. And so I like went to walk out and she was like, she came running out after me. And I was like, oh my God, she really is going to beat me up this time. And she was like, I don't know how you're going to drive home when your car keys are in here in this locker. I was like, you are so right. She was like, is someone coming to get you or are you driving home? And I was like, no, I actually have a license. And she was like,
how?
So that was my amazing first taking of the GRE experience. And the second time I took it, it was also slightly eventful, but not as bad. But I took it with my friend Megan, and She drove us there, and I had a meeting with the poultry science department at UGA to talk about grad school. And they were supposed to pick me up like 3 hours later, and we took it first thing in the morning. They were supposed to pick me up after lunch, and I like literally took my GRE and my Lucky Zac Efron t-shirt, a pair of sweatpants, tennis shoes, and like a hat. And my friend Megan drove us there, and she lost her car keys, and so we couldn't get into her car, and there was nothing we could do, and she lost her car keys, and so her brother had to drive up from Milledgeville and that was like almost like an hour and a half drive. And so the poultry people had to come pick me up from the UJ parking deck, and I was literally wearing my Zac Efron t-shirt, sweatpants, and like greasy hair, no makeup. Like didn't even shower that morning because I was planning on getting ready because I was like, oh, I have 4 hours, like I got nothing but time to get ready. And then the best part was my friend Megan found her keys later, in her backpack.
Oh,
So it was all that for nothing. But
and
yeah,
now
so
that's how we currently live our lives, with stress and greasy hair.
all the time,
No, actually,
all the
we
time.
take showers. I promise.
Yeah,
Um,
but we make. But I should probably wash my hair more. But
I
whatever.
don't know. I don't know if you noticed, but during your entire story, Bear was like sitting right here, and he was just like, "I just woke up." He's actually at the top now. Look at
Hey,
him.
Bear.
Look at him.
Hello. He looks like he is part of the thing. Like they're the same color.
Hey. Hi. Are you sleepy? We had Ragnar on the last podcast, and Bear is on this one.
And Rob's in the background on this one.
Hey. And there he is snoring.
You hear him?
Ah,
Brachycephalic.
yes, he may have brachycephalic airway syndrome. He may
Yeah,
be.
you think?
He may be. Is sturdering. He has sturder. I was tested on. Oh, that's definitely sturder.
He like almost just threw up, but I think he's okay now. Classic
that's
Rob.
that's actually a sign of sturder.
Oh my
Is
God.
they have
He
trouble.
probably has it.
They have trouble breathing, and
Is it like sleep apnea?
well, it's just anytime they have like trouble. I think it's with not inhalation, but like. Wait, I was tested on this yesterday, and it's all gone. Anyway, that's why when you have like a little small pug or something, and they're running, and then they'll start coughing and like they'll like gag, and like kind of throw up. That's like sturder. And I really hope it's sturder and not strider. And I'm not like getting these two mixed up, but I'm like 95% sure. But
Okay.
anyway, what an amazing story about your GRE experience.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on that journey with me.
It was a journey. They seem really kind of rude in Atlanta.
Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're like super sugary, bless your heart, sweet.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they're like, if you bother me one more time, I'm calling the cops.
Maybe they just deal with that like all the time, and they're just like,
Well, maybe they should
oh
put
my
something on their
God.
website and say, hey, don't bring anything
I think they do.
but a positive attitude and your license.
I'm pretty sure they do. They say don't bring anything.
Okay, well, they should put it in super bold print so that I can see it.
We know you ain't gonna read it anyway. Hey, it's better to be over prepared than under prepared.
Am I right? Am I
Like,
right?
what if they're like, you need all this stuff, and you
And
didn't
you don't
have
have any of it. Yeah,
I
it's
just
okay. I have extra pencils that could help
when I went,
41 other people.
I wore glasses at the time, and they like took my glasses off and inspected every single inch of them, and I was just like,
Let me
what
know
am I
if you
do?
find something in there.
What am I gonna do? Hide answers on the brim of these glasses?
That's what
Hold-
I'm saying.
Hold on, let me just. Oh, okay, I'll finish this section of the math this time.
No problem now.
I couldn't finish it last time, but we'll finish it this time. So now that we've taken the GRE and finally have a score that you're acceptable of, you accept have a good.
That was acceptable.
Yeah, you have a score that you were like, all right, this is good. Um, Tell me about your application process.
Okay, so I had to apply 3 times. And I think overall I got over it's definitely over 15 rejection letters, so that's like
Mm.
super fun. And but the the worst process of all of it, so it would definitely be my first cycle. So that was the fall of my senior year, and when I tell you that like my advisor at school had no idea what to help me with or anything. And we weren't exactly besties
Retweet.
anyways, but that's another story for another day. But so I was just kind of like going on my own and I had called a couple other people who had applied previously, asked them how the whole process went. All I knew is I had to go onto Vimcast and like do everything on there. So I applied to like LSU, Tennessee, Mississippi State, UGA, and there was another one. Oh, in Auburn. So I sent like all my stuff in. It was so stressful. And I definitely did not deserve to get in on the first try because my essays were horrible. And when I talked about, like what initially got me interested in veterinary medicine, I talked about how I basically grew up in slaughterhouses because my dad was a meat inspector. And when people read my essays, they were like, so maybe don't mention the word slaughterhouse in an essay in which you're trying to make yourself look good. And I was
Hey,
like, I didn't even think about that.
in your
But like, what
defense,
else do you call them?
in your defense, like USDA vets do that kind of stuff. Like,
All the time.
what if you wanted to be a meat inspector, like a veterinary meat inspector?
Exactly. Exactly. I don't. But
But
what if I did?
that is a profession within vet med that you could get paid a ton of money. So if you're interested
Yeah.
in doing that,
So
definitely do it because not a lot of people want to actually do that.
yeah.
But
Same thing
bravo to
with being
those
a
people.
poultry vet. In case anyone wants to be a poultry vet, more power to you.
More power to you.
I personally will not. I've done enough with chickens in my life.
But we will appreciate your hard work and effort while we're eating our chicken breast at home.
Yeah. I just got to the point where I can eat chicken again. So, anyways, so I did not know anything, and I thought I kind of had a good grasp on what was going. My essays were terrible, but like for the most part, I got everything in like on time and everything like that. And so I think the deadline was like September 15th or something. And so I had everything in and everything was good to go. And so it was like the next like Tuesday or something. It was like a Tuesday night and I was with my friends in the library and I got this email. It was like Tuesday during the day or something, or I think it was Monday. I don't know. But I got this email from UGA and they said, "Hey girl, like
You got in.
no, yeah, I
Oh.
wish." And so they were like, "Hey, girl, we need your UGA like login and stuff for the supplemental application." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So I like gave them my like Vimcast ID and everything, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we need like your UGA supplemental application." And I was like, "Girl, I already filled that out. It was in the Vimcast. Like, here we go." And then I was like, they were like, "Sorry, like it's not working out." So we're gonna hit up our IT department because at this point they're like, because I was like convinced I did it right, and then they're like, okay, well obviously something's wrong. So they said we're gonna contact our IT department, but if you could just go ahead and like submit a screenshot of your like to your email where you filled out the supplemental application. And I was like, okay, so I was like going through my email and I guess I just like dreamed up that I got that. And so I was talking to my friend who had also applied and I said, what are they talking about? And he was like, oh, it's kind of difficult to find, but it was on the website and it's their supplemental application. And I was like, no, like that's part of Vimcast. Like those are all those questions that we filled out and the essays that we wrote and everything. And he was like, yeah, that's what I thought too. But actually, it's not. They have like a total separate thing. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is the first I've heard about it. And he was like, yeah. So for like a split second, I was
Yikes.
like, for a split second, I was like, okay, they said that the IT department is going to work on it. we can play this to our advantage. So for like a split second, I was like, all right, send me the screenshot. I'm gonna Photoshop my name onto it and all this stuff. And then I was like, wait, have I lost my marbles? I cannot do this. Like I
Yeah.
straight up did not do it. But for like a split
Yeah.
second, because that is how bad I wanted to get into vet school, I was like,
Oh yeah.
here's what we're gonna
like
do.
the desperation is real.
The desperation, like literally, I think it was last podcast when I was like, I would have given my left pinky, like I would have literally criminalized, photoshopped my name, done all that stuff just so I could say, just so I could be put in the running. And
Mhm.
so I reached out to them and I was like, can't find the email. And they were like, oh, well, sorry. And so I said, I thought that the supplemental application was like the thing that I filled out through Vimcast. And she was like, no, it's actually like a totally separate thing. It's on our website. And so I like looked on the website and there's like a checklist. And so the word supplemental application under the checklist was actually a hyperlink, but I had no idea because it was just like the same font and everything. And so I didn't click on it because I didn't think to like put my mouse over it. And so that's how I missed it. And so it was like Tuesday night in the library, and I literally had a mental breakdown to the point where my friends were like, we're about to have to take her to the hospital because she is
Yeah.
so unwell. Like she needs a tranquilizer. And I was like screaming, crying on the floor because I was like, they said, sorry, but we're not going to be able to take a look at your application this cycle, but like best of luck next year.
You didn't fill in all the.
Because I didn't fill it out. And I was like, I swear I thought I did. And so that was like my horror story from the first one. And then I mean, I was like, UGA was my dream school, and
Yeah.
I was so beyond devastated. And then all the rejection letters came in from all the other schools, and one school in particular sent me a thing, and they were basically like, it's a hard no for us. Don't call, don't ask, like delete our
can't
number. We're
believe you
blocking you.
Actually emailed
We
us.
took that $100 from you, but like if you so much as even come into our state ever again, like we're gonna call the cops. And how dare you? Like we're putting this on the wall as a joke.
Yeah.
Like you are so stupid. Do not ever
We're-
think that you can come to our school ever again. I was like, oh, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to.
We're putting your application on our website for prospective students to look
For
at
what
it.
not to do.
For what not to do.
Yeah, that was literally me. And then the other schools that I applied to were super nice, and they were like, hey, like it's not you, it's us. Like we love you, but like we love these other people more. So we regret to inform you, you're just not enough.
You are an excellent
like,
candidate.
We'll catch you
However,
next time. Feel free to call us and like we'll tell you exactly why you suck, you know? But like for right now, it's a no for us.
Your
I'm like, well,
personality
that's
was
nice.
great. On paper though,
It's just not living up to what we're seeing, you know?
you're not quite veterinary material yet.
You're just not what we're looking for.
We need you to bake a little bit more. I'm putting you back
We
in
need
the
to change
oven.
every single thing about you. Is that cool? Is that cool?
Cool.
And so then my second cycle, so I didn't get in, and I had a straight up mental breakdown. Like I was unwell for like several months because I was like, I'm never gonna get into vet school because I can't even fill out the freaking application correctly. Like obviously I'm not gonna get in because I'm so stupid I can't even fill out the application. And then the next cycle, I was already in my master's at UGA, so I just applied to UGA because I was like, I'm not gonna go out of state somewhere when I can just go in state if I get in, and I'll like piece out of this master's real quick. And so I actually got waitlisted. I was number 2 on the wait list, and I found that out in like April. And then they were like, we'll call you if you get in. And I was like, okay. So like, when's the cutoff? And then it was like crickets. And so anytime I get a call from like a 706 number, which is the Athens area code, like it would be a telemarketer, and they would call at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would be dead asleep. And I would be like, hello, is UGA? Is this you? And they'd be like, is this Karen? And I'm like, no, if it's not UGA, bye. Like I'm hanging up. And so I was so stressed out the entire summer. I'm pretty sure that's when I gained like 30 pounds casual. But I would email them every single day and call them every single day. And I was like, any word, any word, any word. And I swear they blocked me because they were so annoyed. And I never heard anything back from them. I'm actually still waiting to hear back from them if I got in or not off the
Wait,
wait list.
wait. You forgot a part that I find absolutely hilarious about. I mean, like, kind of sucks, but really hilarious about like the whole like first application cycle. What they told you, like going from the first to the second at UGA, they're like, "Oh man, you totally could have got in."
So then after I didn't get in the first time to any school that I applied to, and then didn't even get considered by my dream school, I put myself back out there again. And at this point, it was during my master's, and so I just applied to UGA because I was already there, and I was like, if I get in, I'm gonna quit my master's real quick and slide on into vet school's DMs, but I'm not gonna go out of state, and then not finish my master's. So, I before I submit my application and everything, I had a meeting with the person over there, and super nice guy. Not gonna drop his name, but like super nice guy. And so I had this meeting, and like, when you like have those meetings where you're like, this means so much to me that I'm just gonna start crying and I have no idea why. And like you go in, you're like, I put on so much deodorant and I'm wearing like loose fit clothing, but I am literally like pouring sweat right now. I'm like the Key and Peele thing where the guy's like just profusely sweating because I'm like, I'm so nervous. I'm gonna throw up everywhere. Can I have a barf bag? Like, do you mind? And so I meet with him, and so I was talking to him, and he said, because I wanted to make sure, this was before I like officially submitted my application, that the UGA supplemental application had been filled out. And he's like, yeah, let me go through that. And so I told him, about my horror story, just a cute 365 before that. And he was like, oh my God, I'm honestly so sad that happened to you, but I'm really glad that you said that to me, because I just recently took this position over from someone else, and we like jazzed up the website a little bit. And so like we added a supplemental application because it used to always be through VMCAS. And so if you ever talk to anyone else who had already applied, they said it was through VMCAS. And I was like, yeah, that's why I thought I was good to go. And he was like, yeah, but like we changed that. And we put it on the website, and then like so many people didn't even fill it out, and we like could not figure out why. And I was like, oh, well, let me tell you, this is why, because no one knew that was a hyperlink except for the people who are really smart. And then he was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And then he said, also, you were mentioning to me about how you like did some research. Was that in undergrad? And I said, yeah, but like I didn't think that was important. And he was like, no, girl, like any research stuff you do at all, like all that research that you did with all those fish and whatever in undergrad, like that really counts, and you should have put that down. And I was like, okay, well, like sorry, I didn't know that. And he was like, oh my gosh, so like you mean to tell me if you had just like filled out that supplemental application and then definitely put down all the work you do with the fish, he was like, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, girl. You'd be about to start your second year. We totally would have accepted you. And I was like, oh my God, really? Glad to know that it's literally all my fault. And he was like, oh my gosh, that sucks. He was like, you would have been like, you totally would have gotten accepted. I was like,
love your attitude. You're such a go-getter.
Oh my gosh, you're great. Everything about it. So I was like, oh my gosh, cool. So glad to know that the only reason I am sitting here begging for you guys to let me in is because of my own stupidity. Yay. And so then I applied again, made sure that all my stuff was submitted in. And then I got the email that I had been waitlisted. So that was super fun. And then I waited and waited and waited. And then in April, I got the email that they told me that I was number 2 on the wait list, not number 1, number 2. And I was so excited. And I was like, oh my God, number 2, like this is it. Like I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in.
Get that bottle of champagne ready, because it is coming. Let's go.
It's happening. So I literally told like every single person I knew, like I like got up on the mountaintops and was like, I'm number 2 on the wait list. Like this is the greatest day of my life. I've never been so excited to be told maybe, like it's maybe if someone else we liked more than you leaves, we're gonna let you slide in.
We're waiting for 2 people to say no thank you.
Yeah. And so, and then all my friends who know how bad I want to get in, they were like, just like give us a list of the names. Like, we'll make sure they disappear. And I'm like, I really appreciate the effort, but like, we're not gonna do that, you know?
We
So
have
like
hitmen
two
out there
crimes. Yeah.
ready.
Literally, like, if your friends aren't willing to support you that much and you chasing your dreams, like get new friends. I'm sorry.
True.
And so anyways, so they were like, all
We
right,
don't
we'll let you
condone
know.
murder. We don't condone
We
it.
don't, we don't. But we do condone amazing friendships. So just like this one. Hey.
Virtual 5.
And so um I was waiting to hear back and they're like, we'll call you, blah blah blah. So like anytime I got a phone call from an Athens number, I was like, hello, is this them? Like, is this UGA? Hello, hello. I was like, hello.
Oh my god.
I did it
Stop.
just for you.
Stop.
Um
Stop.
and so I never heard anything back. I'm actually still waiting
You'll
for
get
them
in.
to let me know.
You'll get in. You'll get in, I
Yeah,
promise.
I think they might actually call
It's
me like any day
it's
now
just
and be
around
like,
the
"Hey,
corner.
someone failed out. Did you want to slide in?"
Did you want to slide in? I hope you're ready to start second half of third year. Are you
Yeah,
good?
you're ready, girl, right? Like you're ready. And so then I never heard anything. So I was like, guess I'm gonna
Happens.
put myself back out there one more time. And so I did. And I got a lot of positive feedback from a lot of places. Um, UGA all but told me that they were like, girl, you getting in this time. Like, wink, wink.
Persistent. We can see
You're
you're
in.
so persistent. Like
You're everything that we've ever wanted. And
it was so unfortunate
like
last time. It
the last two
happens.
times have been some due to due to some unfortunate circumstances, but like this time, girl, like third time's the charm. And
It's
so
yours. We have the seat
I
already with your name on it.
I know, right? And they're like, get ready for that red envelope to come in the mail. Like, you're ready. And so obviously told a lot of people, but not like as much as when I told everybody I was number two on
Yeah.
the wait list because nothing sucked more than whenever like people who I had told I was number two on the wait list and then they would like text me and they'd be like, so you in yet? And I'm like, no, please don't talk to me. Like I'm going through a lot right now. And then I like really had myself hyped up. I was hyped up. Like I was like, I've worked so hard, blood, sweat, and tears. I have never worked so hard in my entire life or something. And then I got denied.
Mm.
So
Mm.
it was super fun.
Not even
But they were
waitlisted the
like,
third time.
not even waitlisted. They were like,
It's a
new
no for
phone,
me,
who
dog.
dis?
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no for us. And so I um had gotten accepted to another school. And
What was the
it's
school?
it's this one. It's LMU, Lincoln Memorial University. And so should I tell the story about when I found out I got accepted?
If it's pretty quick, we are
It's
running out
pretty
of.
quick.
We're running
I
out of
know. It's pretty
time,
quick. And
so
we have to edit.
we're
We're
wrapping
editing some
this
stuff.
up. We're wrapping this
Okay.
up.
So I'll tell you so to end it just to end it on a positive note and a
Hmm.
hilarious note. Um I had not yet been denied from UGA, but I got my first acceptance to vet school. And so I was at the gynecologist, the lady doctor, and
Nice.
I was about to get an IUD, just like a little TMI for everyone. But I was
Oh
about to
my
get my
god.
IUD, and I had heard like horror stories about how it was gonna hurt, and it was like basically childbirth and all this stuff. And so my super cool gynecologist was like, just take like a 800 milligram ibuprofen, like you're fine, blah blah blah. So I go in this back room, and I am like terrified of everything there. And I'm like shaking, about to throw up. I'm so scared. And there's like no service on my phone. And then all of a sudden, like my phone buzzes and it was like new email. So I checked my email and it's from LMU and it was like, congratulations, you've been accepted to the class of 2023. And I was like, I am so unwell. I was so freaking out and I'm like screaming. I'm like hyperventilating. I'm like projectile crying at this point. I'm in the gown, like I'm on the table or whatever.
The
And so like
stirrups.
literally I'm not in the stirrups yet, but
Okay.
whatever. And
Okay.
so my gynecologist walks in and I am literally like like hyperventilating. Like, I need oxygen, I need a tranquilizer, I need 3 sips of water. Like, I was unwell. And he was like, girl, it is not going to be that bad. Like, I'm telling you, it's not going to be that bad. Like, it is going to be in out real quick. Like, I told you to take that ibuprofen. Like, girl, you're going to be good. And I was like, it's not that. I just got accepted to vet school. And he was like, what? Oh my God. He's crying. The nurse is crying. I'm crying. We're all hugging, me in the gown. Like, it was amazing. And he was like, oh my God, this is so great. And so, like, people always ask me, like, did your IUD hurt? And I'm like getting it inserted. And I was like, I don't know, because I have never been so high on cloud 9. I like was not even actually a part of my body. I had like elevated for like a little bit above for a little bit. It was just like so freaking happy. And he was like, I remember when I got accepted in medical school and blah 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 blah. And he's like, what are we gonna do to celebrate? Like, I'm so excited. Then afterwards he like literally made an announcement in the doctor's office, and like the staff is like, we're so excited. People in the waiting room are like, this place is nuts. And everyone's so excited. And then he like gave me this huge hug. And so yeah, I never ever thought that the first person I would tell that I got accepted to vet school was going to be my gynecologist, but that's who it was. And you know what? I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
Hey,
Because what a story.
that's a great story, and that's awesome that you have such a good support system. With,
Oh my
like,
gosh, I know. If anyone's looking for a good gynecologist, I got you.
yeah,
You got to go down to Georgia, but
be like, hey, I heard good reviews from this
yeah, well, I've
really
heard from this podcast.
this like cryptic out there podcast. That nowhere near as exciting as your story, but I was in the gym. I had also gotten waitlisted, and I was in the gym at LMU working out, like as I do before the dark times. And
Before Miss Rona came in
and
closed our gym down.
no, it's open for 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But I got the
Takes
email.
me 30 minutes to get my shoes on.
I got the email.
Takes me 30 minutes to sit on the treadmill.
Be like, all right.
Okay, do it. Oh, it's time to leave. All right, bye.
You're in here. You're ready. Like, just let's go. Just start walking. Just start, like, walking's better than nothing. But it was like 7 o'clock at night, and I got the email, and I was just like, who do I tell? I'm so like already like high on endorphins or whatever from like working out, and I actually found a friend who was a third year at the time, and she was like, I told her, I was like, I don't have anybody else to tell, but you understand. I just got accepted, and she's like, oh my God, and we gave like the biggest like sweaty hug because we were both working out, like and then like I couldn't finish working out. I had to call my parents and everything, but definitely weird acceptance story, but not as weird as yours.
I think we should open it up and say, if you're listening to this, if you made it this far,
Yeah.
email us or DM us on Instagram and tell us, where were you when you got accepted?
Yeah.
And what are your horror stories from your vet school application cycle? And if they are good enough, we'll read them in the next podcast.
Yeah.
How about that?
We can read your acceptance story, be it super exciting, super crazy, or just like very mundane. Like, let's be honest, sometimes you're just sitting at home, you're like, oh my God. But yeah, send us your acceptance stories. Send us your application horror stories.
Nightmares. Yeah.
And we can read them on
Send
the
us your
next
rejection
podcast.
letters. We can compare.
Yeah. And if you want, we can feature them on our story. We can just like, we can make little clips and or something. So thanks for listening. Thanks for telling us your story.
You're so welcome.
I'm so proud of us because even with a few of the edits that we may have to do, we're only at 48 minutes, and that's so good for us. We really stayed on track.
We overcame.
So, like we do in professional skills, let's just round what we did. So we talked about your GRE horror stories. Well, the one. And then you took it a second time. And then we talked about your 3 application cycles and how UGA didn't do you dirty, but they kind of did you dirty.
It's okay. I still love them. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. But yeah, and then you finally got accepted here, and now we're friends. Like, okay,
And
if you
now
went
we're
to
friends. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I'm
you,
so glad that I'm where I'm at. And I'm glad I'm like out of the state of Georgia because I've broadened my horizons. And if I can give any advice to anyone who's like, I don't know if I should stay like in state, okay, obviously for money reasons, yes. But if you're upset, money is not everything. And
mhm,
I will tell you this, I am so glad that I went to a school that was out of state and far enough away that I like it was close enough that I don't feel like I'm on the other side of the country from my parents, but it's far enough away where like I don't feel obligated to come home for every little thing.
mhm,
And I think that's probably one of the toughest parts about vet school is like you really have to put your studies above everything and like you have FOMO so hard and I hate that I miss out on so much stuff, but like it's going to be so worth it at the end of the day. And so I feel like if I had gone into UGA, I would want to go to all the UGA games and I would want to go to like all my friends like birthday parties and weddings and everything else. And then I wouldn't be as good of a student. Not
mhm.
that I'm an amazing student now, but like back before online school, I was a pretty decent student. And I like focused and like it was it was much better. So
Yeah.
that would be my advice to anyone who
And
can't decide if they want to get away or not.
everybody's journey to vet school is different. I was very fortunate to get in my first application cycle. Some people take 3 or more.
Hmm.
If it's destined to be, it's destined to be. Don't give
Don't
up.
give up.
Don't give up if this is your dream.
Listen,
And
if we can get in, anybody can.
um, and once you're in vet school, just remember how hard you fought in to get here. And I mean,
Fight 10 times harder to stay.
especially like, and I'm sure we're all like, I'm sure we all felt it during finals week, but or during the semester, but during finals week, like, man, you're like, is this really what I needed to do? Is this what I want to do?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to drop it. I just don't want to. I don't want
Yeah.
to study anymore. I don't want to
I'm
take
just
another
so
exam.
tired. Can they just take themselves?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like we all had exams yesterday, and then you guys, we all have exams on Monday, and then my class
I
has
have one
exams.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah, so it's just
So
like, vet. I mean, at least for us, vet school is not just finals week; it's like finals weeks.
the best advice I ever heard about vet school was during orientation, and it was from the med school guy. And he said, professional school, especially in a medical program, every single week is like finals week.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost crapped my pants whenever he said that because I was like, I am a nervous wreck during finals week every single week. Like, I don't talk to my family. My hair falls out. Like, I only eat cheeseburgers when I do eat, and it's like every 3 days. Like, I'm like a snake over here. I like, I don't do
Yeah,
anything, and all I do is just study, study, study. And I'm like, if this is how my life's gonna be for 4 years, I'm scared. And he was 1000% right. Every single week is like finals week. Um, on steroids a little bit. So, but it's gonna be so worth it.
yeah.
Every single time I get done with the finals week, I'm like, I'm that much closer to the end. And it's great. So
If you're still fighting to get to school, to get to vet school,
keep
or you
fighting.
keep fighting, it's meant to be. Doesn't matter how many application cycles it takes. Just make
Nobody
yourself
cares. No one's gonna ask unless you go on a
make
podcast and tell. No one's gonna tell.
make yourself better each time. You can only improve. And be personable, be yourself. If you get an interview, that's the first hurdle, dog.
Hmm.
You've really made it. That's when they say you look good on paper. Let's see how you look in person. And if you get waitlisted, that is not the end of the world. I feel like half of my class was waitlisted. Um, Being waitlisted is not the end of the world. That means that you're in the final
Better than being
pool.
denied.
Exactly. And if you do get denied, definitely talk to the schools who denied you, or they just didn't pull you off the wait list, and see what happened, see what's going on, and keep hitting it, keep chasing that bread, or keep chasing whatever, keep chasing the carrot. What is it? Keep getting
I
that
don't know.
bread. I don't know.
Getting the bread, yeah.
Keep
Chase your dream.
but yeah, keep getting at it, because if not if it is meant to be, and you can make it. And once you're here, just make sure you stay.
Yeah.
Because you finally made it, and then it's just, man, you just got to get past the 4 years.
Yeah. Getting in's the hardest part, and then you just make good friends, and they'll help you. Make good friends, not bad friends. Make good friends, and they will help you. You'll each carry each other across the finish line, and that's all that matters.
Yep. As somebody going into their 6th semester, last semester didactic.
Woo!
It's getting real. This is getting real. But it's worth it. 3rd year, definitely starting to learn about doctor stuff. So, Lauren, you can make it past
Woo!
2nd year, I promise.
Thank goodness.
Well, that about wraps up our podcast for today. So, in case nobody has told you this today,
You are so beautiful.
you are smart,
You make a difference,
and you truly do matter.
and that is the God's honest truth. Thank you for tuning in to Vet School in a Nutshell. We will see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Socially distant edition.